tricky here. They're all going to come swarming in through one singular door. Not sure that's the play, but finally the pinch occurs, Vans.
All right, so the spike has been planted. Cat is going to try to even up the tally, but there's still one player behind, and we're playing super passively for CLG Red right now, counting on the utility of Killjoy, counting on the utility of Sova for C9 to push forward and have to bring the fight towards CLG at the orb. And so far as that happens, CLG still takes the upper hand, but they are sticking onto that fight, and somehow Mel behind that wall stuck in. Animal went through the rappel, but still couldn't get the kill on a map like Icebox. Looking at this in general, the A side is designed at some place where you just always have to fall back on initial contact if you're not getting any kills. And there you go, you see, they're getting dropped down, they're falling back to the screens, Rise and Vegeta getting the first bloods into this round, and we're trying to fight back. We're trying to clap back with these Spectres that we saved into this bonus, but it's still going to be the spike down here for CLG Red with a 2-player advantage.
What a shame here for C9. They had everything going for them. They kept Spectres in hand and they thought they could just outgun and outrun, but it's not going to be. And guess who's left over? It's the Clutchmeister of Annie. We have seen her about 10 clutches throughout this playoff so far.
Possible, and already we're going to have a Viper's Pit to come out too, just to try to bring the chances in our hand for C9 White to get the defuse. But you saw those mollies pop out from the Nanoswarm from CLG Red, and it's still going to be Naomi and Animal clearing things up and also clearing the Viper's Pit. To sum things up though, it's a 1 versus 1. It's up to Annie Jo trying to get this 1 versus 1 against Rise, but she gets the paranoia and also the kill. See if Katie was going to push aggressively on that Pice, but not. We are creeping up towards this B side. Mel's in a perfect angle, should be an easy kill. Benita's the first to fall, but a second one slowly creeping up. So kind of like Lemmings, but Mel still holds the angle out. Both Nanoswarms pushing the opponent down towards the spawn side, and she still loses a fight and gets out freely. And they spot Alexis on the top. She's going to get a heal. The wall's going to come up, and the plant is also going to be secured for CLG Red. Meanwhile, though, Cat has gotten 1 kill to give a 1-player advantage for C9 White. They are closing in towards Orange, and actually we didn't get the plant because of that kill. Sorry about that. They actually, Rise was forced to fall back with the spike all the way towards Yellow, and everything actually gets reset.
Wow.
Jess.
I actually thought Rise was going to get that one down. When I was hearing the spike go down, I was very confident that that would be the outcome. The fact that they now have to push on back, 30 seconds left, and the announcer confirms all for you. Paranoia goes out, but I don't think that's going to collect anyone. But oh, Katie, Rise has been absolutely making the big mechanical plays here these past few rounds on the Omen. But Annie makes it work, and the plant goes down anyway. Did they think it was Rise getting it down? Well, too bad. You picked the wrong person.
Out pretty much towards that Yellow, where C9 could potentially pinch.
Oh, it's not the only ult that's possibly going to be popped. Rise thinks about it, gets back to spawn, but gets punished by Annie for it. Benita goes down, but Mel, multi-kill Mel, I'm calling her from now on. She pops it together with the double headshot, and there is no way Naomi does this.
Pick up this operator because she wants to push a little bit more aggressively towards this B side, but she's selling a fake. Everybody's rotated for 2 players over there and 1 player only on the A side, but they are also losing their battles for CLG Red side. So this is not looking good for CLG at all on the attack. Even a res to come out, a 2-player advantage for the defense, and we also had an early Viper's Pit on middle side, so we really pushed out all of CLG Red on both extremities.
There we go, Mel, she waited out, she wanted to get some shots popping on from heaven, and she does, but she does get traded. Chobo able to take her out, and Annie, oh, that was almost a perfect wall hit there. That was the wall bang you needed to stop that one out. Now they're going to have to use all remaining utility to try and retake. We know it's very possible, but this is a site that hasn't been very strong for the retakes for C9. They're far more, got so much more prowess on the A side. Defender Killjoy as well. Surely that gets destroyed, but it's still going off, and all of a sudden they should be able to make this work, siphoning them over to Yellow, but it's not enough. The clutch goddess of C9, I don't think she's got enough time to work with here. Would require a 3-woman spray transfer.
What is already on this retake? We're having some very fast plants right now for CLG Red on the attack.
That's what you want, though. If you want to be confident and get the plant down and bring the fight to you, that's what you need. You need the spike down to do it. A swing around Yellow, and it falls here every time they go to Yellow. It's almost as if they're leaving blue, and I don't know now, because this particular spot here for C9 hasn't been good. They do try and start getting that diffuse off. Good shot from Annie. Surely she can bring the Clutchmeister back. She knows how to do it. She's a good shot. Pull it together, girlfriend. You don't have time, and it's all over Red Rover. Oh, a round so needed for CLG Red here.
It now towards his A site. There's a big paranoia as Katie is forced to fall back into a corner, but still gets the first blood into this round onto Benita. This time, the same strategy as the pistol round, and I think finally we get the spike a little bit more out in the open.
What a shame. Missed shots there from Katie means that Rise, who has been the unsung hero, I think, or a heroess of this particular half, I'm going to say, she has absolutely popped off on the Omen. Underrated player by far, as is C9 Mel. You can see on the top right of your screen, making it rain, and these fast pushes, these fast plants here, Vans, they have been what has been the kicker here for CLG over towards A. You can see Spike has actually now gone towards the A, even though they were sussing out the B side. Incorrect read on it, Vans? I think so.
It's 4 players right now on the A side, so CLG Red, I think Red C9 White even more than the opposite team. But the wall still comes out, and the spike will go down courtesy of Benita. We're trying to go for the kills above the wall, but it's going to be Benita that's only going to do some health damage as Mel is going to get her re-heal. But forcing now all the opponents to come out towards 410 and also breaking the wall on that main side. It's still going to be Katie that draws the first kill into this round. Naomi, though, evening things back, and it's a crossfire on these walls, but it's still going to be the defense on a retake. A turn to take one down, the wall to come up, the right clicks from Alexis, and it's still going to be a 2 versus 1, though. Cat fighting it down. She's moving out with the knife, but it's going to be too late. The defuse comes out, and it is going to be CLG Red, and also the kill from Chobo into the kitchen, but there's not going to be any opposition. We're going to have to count down on Naomi right now, and she does so to be able to take down Annie. So that's also a recon dart that doesn't allow for clearage for C9 White into the B site. They're just going to have to push in with their bodies, and it's only 10 seconds left on the clock. We're trying to get this plant down. It does go down successfully, but CLG are just closing in on Cloud9, and they close in as well onto the attack, and that's going to be the easy defuse, and CLG takes the lead. This is going to be so hard for CLG to retake. They do have a Killjoy ult right now, though, but do they want to use it? They will. Right away, Annie also moves forward, but Benita gets that kill on that retake. But everybody else from C9 White, they're holding back here towards the back of the orb. You have the delay on that time from these nanoswarms, and now that the lockdown is finished, it hasn't locked down anybody, and it's just going to have to be 3 players peeking out and only leaving Benita on her own this time on a 3 versus 1. You're just going to try to make things a little bit expensive in the end because the round has been lost no matter what. I don't even think she even clicked, so that is going to be one forcing Benita to fall back, but it's still going to be a push towards the A side where nobody really rotated out from that first initial contact. Even Animal pushing down towards that mid side is able to retaliate onto Cat, so that means any type of lurk towards the B side is now over, and Benita could go for a full rotate into this A site. But the spike has yet to be planted. It is going to be a 4 versus 3. You have a Hunter's Fury out from both sides, but we're not using it to try to cancel the ult. We're actually using it towards the spawn side instead. It connects onto Mel for 1. She's so low on HP, but does not get the kill. Animal, though, training things out. Still, as C9 White are holding back towards the orb side, they do have a 2-player disadvantage as the res now comes up for CLG Red. That spike is taken down. Annie, Dro, and also Mel are still staying alive, and now they even up the tally into the round and also forcing out the nanoswarm. We're going to have to go into the higher ground, even forcing a Killjoy ult down onto the ground. Rise has to push forward, and it does not pay off. On a 4 versus 2, it's going to be winnable for C9 White, and they also take the lead out of those kills. Looking to struggle at the beginning, they seem to have found an answer so far with these slow plays.
Oh no, Katie knew that's exactly where Naomi was. She even saw the muzzle for a moment, but she gets punished nevertheless. Cat, she'll make it work towards the captain of CLG. Now, are they pulling it out in the, rather CLG and C9? Do you think they're using it correctly here? Do you think Cat's really popping off with it?
Oof. So far, speaking about Cat, she's going to get this headshot onto Animal, but gets traded out, and I think she does, just to answer your question. The Viper Pit does deny a lot of information so far. The walls that she puts at the same time on the attack, even on the defensive side, when she put it on the defense for those retakes, have been pretty good. But back with the action this time, though, on this plant that we have from C9 White, Chobo just got pinged out here from Annie Joe's recon, and you see those shock darts to come out too. But this is such a good crossfire from the 3 players of C9, although Chobo is able to make 2 kills out of that, and even up the tally on a 1 versus 1. That clock is going to tick down. The smoke is out. Alexis is spraying through, and it's actually at halfway. We are sticking at the same time, and somehow Rise is able to get it. 100%. Even though for CLG Red, you're going to thank Chobo for getting those 2 kills on the 3 versus 2. But now C9 White, they're saying, look, you won the round, but we still want to battle through, and it's going to be Katie that's going to be very aggressive towards this mid side, updraft towards the top of the tube, goes back into the B side. You have also the Empress being picked off by Benita, who picks off 2 kills with that, and now we have 2 versus 2. The Hunter's Fury to come out. It's trying to ping out Katie. She's at 2 HP, and she is going to survive. So now can Chobo get a clutch this time, get another multi-round? So far, yes. She's able to take down the low HP player, swings out on the second one, and they're both at literally the same HP, but a recon dart from the attackers on the post plan, it does not ping out Chobo. She goes for the shock dart. It's going to be a set 1 towards the back of the site. Chobo is still trying to move forward, and as Annie is playing this very smart, using the time into her hand, she goes for the swing, and also Chobo gets the kill, but will she get enough time going into this one? She should. And it will be a 10-10.
Fast. Ooh. We've not been seeing the panache from C9 White on their attack so far, but Benita, she makes this flank and she makes it snappy. She might take Annie by surprise.
Yeah, it's very difficult for C9 White right now. They had the recon dart to ping out some players for CLG Red, and now the turret knows that there's a flank too. So they have to push very quickly into the site, and it pays off. They're able to drop down 3, but Benita's still on this flank, but couldn't capitalize on the second player. It's only going to leave Animal on her own in a 3 versus 1, and with that high low on the pipes and at 410.
I want to see these long-range shots be big.
Yeah, but they can't get it right now for C9 nor for CLG. There's a lot of smokes out in the open. One ping on the opposite side as well. It's just going to be easier for C9 with these wall bangs to get these frags because the toxic screen was up too. So Benita on her own on a 4 versus 1 remaining. It was a 5 versus 1. She's going to have to try to ace, but very difficult. We're going to be in an eco here for CLG Red, but we do have a great ultimate on the defender side. That's flushing Cloud9 White back into their spawn, and that's where the 3-player push from, not Complexity, sorry, because I see it from Animal, but from CLG actually gets these frags, and it pays off. So now it's a 3 versus 2, and we don't have a plant coming in, and I think this was calculated. This was perfect right now for CLG. Even Rise getting a drive-by onto Katie, leaving Mel on her own on a 3 versus 1, and she's just going to look for the lurk play. She gets the first one onto Rise, but 2 players now pushing forward, but they're moving out 1 by 1, and thankfully Chobo is going to save the round there for CLG Red. They're really putting in the rifles into this, and it is going to be a lockdown coming out from the attacker, so that is a lockdown in like, what, 2-3 rounds? This is looking very good here for C9, although Animal is able to get this first kill onto Cat, and as we have 1 detained, we're still getting kills at least for CLG Red. Now trying to deny this plant. It still goes down though, courtesy of C9 Mel. And it's not going to pulse anybody right now, but Mel is stuck inside a corner. Thankfully, a wall is up. The retake of a full player roster for CLG Red, but Mel is trying to hold her ground just by the wall. She takes down 2. Empress to come out from Benita. A retake attempt as Mel gets a trip kill, finally gets stopped by Benita. But now it's a 1 versus 1. Can Rise get another clutch? But she's up against the clutch master herself of Annie Dro. Spam down to 76, still going with the jiggle peaks, and the shock dart to come out. 36 HP left. A fake up onto the tower, and Annie's gonna get the kill as there was no time at the same time. C9 White wins this second map, 13-11. Retake here for CLG Red. So as we talked about in these matchups, always having these retakes so far for both of these teams, this is not unfamiliar territory, and it's still gonna be Benita that gets the first blood. Jazikin's trying to retaliate so far as this battle is ensuing at the bottom of the C site. It is still going to be C9 White at a 1-player disadvantage, but it is going to be Mel. Who else than her to try to clutch a 2 versus 1? The turret to come out, but it is also a smoke. It's going to be so hard for her to capitalize on these kills.
I'm not entirely sure.
And so far, it's like the 3rd round that we see a 5-on-5 retake. A gravity well to a nanoswarm. We love to see those kinds of combos, and that's going to be Mel that's going to be credited for the kill. Meanwhile, though, on this bonus, it's not paying off for the defenders. Chobo's on her lonesome, picking up the Vandal left behind. Is she going to try to save it into the next round or just make it more expensive for C9 White? Have them buy with the spike, try to get these kills. The first one onto Jazikins, going back long range versus Anitro, connects onto that one as well, and that is going to be the first point on the board for C9 White. A save Vandal got canceled out on the ult right away. So with that, we're taking advantage for C9 to push into the A site. A showstopper to stop Benita, but it quickly gets traded out by Rise in the back of the site. It's going back and forth as C9 White regains the advantage, and are going with the multiple smokes towards the spawn site, and finally a plant to come down.
It's always these post plans that worry me because we saw before that gravity well with the nanos. I mean, that was a beautiful little combination there. Here we go. We're seeing again that Naomi, this particular spot in the map, that's going to be a critical part of their ingress onto the retake. They know exactly where she is and she'll get slowed out as a result, but you can't stop her. You can slow her down, but she can still hit hard. And Kat says, you know, numbers evening that they need. You can see the blue swarms of silhouettes running over towards A. They know what's happening, and I said one shot is all it takes. And it's on to the lady herself who you were hyping before. This use of the ultimate there, and that means that Jazzikins will be able to pop off on this particular round. She was brought in as a sub onto this map because she doesn't play Icebox, but that's okay. Everything in her particular position there. She knows that she wants to play aggressive, but then forced her back multiple times. She'll take a lot of HP, and finally they dispatch of her. Jazzikins, she is the unsung hero of C9 at the moment. She's been doing everything she can on the ingress on the site. They're going to ping out a couple of these plays, and you can see that ultimate for Killjoy as well on the board. Unfortunately, it's not going to do the job that they intended it to do in a 2v4. Is this an uphill battle for CLG Red? I would say it's a mountainous uphill battle.
Definitely. At least Benita is using her boots with the clamps, moving up towards this hill. She does get the first kill, but now she's also going to be the last player standing as she spots a second one towards the A cubby. This should be it. You should see her trying to fall back and save her weapon, but she's about to get flanked by Katsumi. And speaking of Katsumi, she's one of those players now for C9. Not only can she be a clutch player, she's also going to be the lurk player for the team, usually on this map, because she has to set up her players as this Astra player. But as this spike is going to go off, the round is definitely going to go in here for C9 White. We're just questioning if Benita could save her weapon here, and it looks like she will be able to. She had a perfect lineup for this kill, but she decides to unscope. This is the second time this happens, and we have a Cosmic Divide to come out. We have Shot Hunter's Spear. We have all of our ultimates pretty much for C9 White moving in. That's two that's been activated. We're looking for the Blade Storm. We're looking for the quick flanks, and as they're trying to run, it's usually not heard on the other side of that barricade from the Cosmic Divide, but as soon as you cross that wall, it was heard on that flank. Anidro got the kill, and now you're just going to have the last two players forced to fall back and save your weapon. So
we've got the Owl drone to work with to get a little bit of intel, and that does manage to spot out a couple of those players. Hunter's Fury from Benita. Surely if she places this right, it can absolutely kick things into the favor of the retake here. That barrier, perfectly placed. It's all it needs for Katie now. I mean, she only has to look in one to two different angles. They know she's there, and thread the needle, Vans.
And Katie took advantage of that to just go for the simple blades through that, because nobody was going to check that corner, was going to check that 50, because they thought that it was covered. And now you're trying to get the Blade Storm for Chobomi on this side for CLG Red and push down. She's only good for one kill, so a slight mistake that turns out to be very costly for CLG Red in that previous round also gives C9 White a 5-round advantage.
Mel's just getting gifted. It's like Christmas in March. Are we even in April yet? I don't even know. Maybe it's an Easter gift.
I want my summer. Let's call it Easter. Easter's good for me.
This round over C9 White, unless a miracle happens. Omen and a Cypher on the board. Hey, two players that can make it happen, but you got to hit your shots, ladies, if you want it. And all of a sudden, it's Rise. A very, very consistent player, especially on Icebox. I think this is too much to handle here, folks.
She's going to slow things out on the long side, but yeah, Katie was waiting there with the double box.
Called to carry Katie in the previous series, but she's only now being started to be absolutely activated as the carry of the team. Highest rated player by far. And if you are CLG right now, you got to hit those shots. Katie makes it happen over towards Naomi, and it's going to be the heaven and hell fight that we're seeing. Angels v Devils. Chobo's going to be the angel, and well, Katie, she's an absolute monster.
And Rise looking for another clutch attempt on her own. Pushing out towards the hell side is good for Katie to fall, but then after that, Annie swings just across in the back of the default bot that she still has to protect on that flank. But now she's out of the range, out of that radar. The flank is coming in, but the rest of the push from Cloud9 White is inside the site as Naomi is playing inside the cage, connects with the Spectre for 2 kills, and even Chobo gets one of her own. So now the spike is down, it's 2 versus 2. The res comes out for CLG as well, and the Hunter's Fury from Annie Jo does not connect. A fake plant now from Mel, looking back towards that spawn side, and she's looking looking to plan for Anidro at the long end. Here comes the shock darts on that default spot. Is not going to connect as of yet, and Anid even walks into the slow orb to get the kill onto Chobo. So somehow they've evened it up on a 2 versus 2 on such a chaotic round that looked good for CLG Red from their positioning. But now Mel gets pinged out in the front of the site. They're probably going to have to rely on some great communication from these two players, and it works out perfectly for C9 as it's going to be Anidro that uses Mel as a bait to get these 4 kills that are currently playing. All they did was throw a slow orb through a nebula, and they're just going to try to work back towards this B site. So Katie is hiding in an angle where she's going to be safe. She's going to try to jump towards the air, right click, and not get the spike carrier, nor even the kill. So you get a spike plant, you're able to fall back, you're re-healing yourself for Animal, and it's going to be a 5 versus 5 just across this wall, just across this smoke. We're running through right now. Is it still going to be C9 White getting the first blood? But look at all those players towards that front site. It's just going to be a bloodbath. Mel deciding to press forward, but it's just going to be 3 instantaneous kills for CLG Red, leaving only Jazikin at her lonesome. A paranoia. This round should be secured now for CLG Red, and that's it. You see her jumping around. That spike is going to go off no matter what. So CLG Red, they pushed as a group, and it works out for them here on that pistol round.
Beautiful bit of observation there to catch that paint shells as it comes through, and attackers C9 don't seem phased, and they just want to snatch it out of the hands. Like it's like taking a lolly from a baby. That's exactly what C9 feel like right now. And as they've got 5. Are they full HP agents? Yes, they are. The attackers are going to try and get that spike down. That's super important. But guess what?
No.
Spike carrier goes down, man.
That was set shock darts too, raining from above, and it's just going to be them pushing out. And now it's Rise on her own. She gets 3, but just not enough. The one that draws first blood.
And they want to make it count because they've got short-range weapons to work with. Speaking of short-range weapons, Kat's got one of her own. She'll get 2 to the long. And C9, oh no, they're just making an absolute mess of their opponents here today.
Perfect flank onto Mel, who will not see this coming. First player already down, but a second one is also inside the garage, and she does not connect onto the kill. So an early 4-on-4, but Benita immediately trades that out. That's a C site that's open. That's a battle also towards the back of the ceiling as Jazikin is trying to push forward. A shock dart to slow her down, but Katie's also moving out. The rotation's already up for C9 White, and they're looking to go for this retake.
They've got to make it happen. This is map point, series point, entire tournament point, ladies and gentlemen. This is it, CLG. You have the numbers to work with here. This is the first time in a while you've had the woman advantage, I should say, here. And oh, you can hear that spike. They're tapping onto it. C9 White, they want them to peak. They know exactly where Benita is. They've got a number on speed dial, and Vans, they've got to put it together here. Surely the timer ticks out. Surely this is a CLG round.
The res is up, though, and it's a 2 versus 1. It's spiked halfway onto the fuse, and now they're off it. They're double swinging. The kill from Rise, the second kill from Rise, and she saves the round for CLG Red. Until the next we go.
Speaking of problems, I think Katie's about to come up against one. Jet v Jet, and she... the problem, I take that back, ladies and gentlemen. Katie knows exactly what's going on, and now we have that ultimate coming out from the defenders here. C9 White. Can Benita hit the shots that she didn't last time with the Hunter's Fury? No, she doesn't. That's the problem. And unfortunately, she doesn't get as much damage as she needed there. And the showstopper, Jazikins, you were subbed out for map 1, but no, she doesn't make it happen. She can make it happen with bullets instead there.
How does that pay off? And it's actually a half buy that they had, but Naomi tries to stay alive. It doesn't work out. The defuse is coming to come out for Cloud9, and they are the women's champion of the VCT Game Changers. Cloud9 White over CLG Red.